and then you're kind of getting left while this elbow is kind of like working, like your chest rotating this way. When my chest rotates, see how, Jonathan, when I do this, see how my hand path will pitch out, right? So you go here, and then you start down and you pull it, which pulls your hand down and then steepens the shaft. So you got to feel like your hand path, for you, like your arm is kind of trampolining, which will shoot your hand path, but it'll feel out, but it's really just beelining to the ball. Brain to your heels, right? And then as you're kind of after you do like 5, feel like you kind of extend it through, and you're going to feel yourself pushing up and back. Try to connect your brain to the bottom of your feet. And go all the way through. So yeah, you would want to go through. So when you swing a club at 100 miles an hour, it weighs 80 pounds. So that's, I don't even know what that is, what, 10-pound kettlebell? So imagine you swing an 80-pound kettlebell. It would want to go like this, which is why you have to put like some kind of reverse thrusters on it when it's going through. You're going to put your butt back here against the wall, and you're going to turn and try to get your hands to be against the wall, and see how I can wiggle my toe. Right, so we're going to go back, and then you're going to slide your butt down and keep your toes elevated. Okay? Thanks, bro. Start. First piece was getting you more depth in your backswing by getting you more pivot and loaded into your toe, right? Then from there, we go into how to transfer pressure down.
I used to swing big, and I was terrible.
Okay, so now we're up to the top. Then you get out into your toes, pull, and then pull the handle. Right? Whereas here, you're going to kind of drive more through your heels. And you can see that's kind of where that sneed squat kind of comes in. See that?
Yeah.
But a lot of the stuff, like when you do this stuff, why I like this for like guys like you and I that like have jobs and kids and life, is that there's a ton of power in like, you know, us giving, I always give this analogy, but like my kids are in the bath and I'm taking the kid's toothbrush and I'm like this, right? And then like, you know, the kids, you make the kids lunch and then they're sitting around and like, you know, you like go up against the counter and you're like, you know, like you're just doing reps because you're just owning your motor pattern throughout your day. So that's where I always talk about the difference between golfers and golfing. Like golfers, it's just like, you know, they're brushing their teeth and they're like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So. Okay, so we're gonna go back and see how I'm in my heel, and then I'm through in my heel. See that? I'm going back and through in my heels. You would go. Right, so back and through in my heels. Back and through in my heels. And when you're doing that, it's probably gonna feel like, as you're doing it, you're gonna feel like this, like your arm is kind of like trampolining off your chest this way. So you're gonna go back and then trampolining kind of through. So we're gonna do it through like some motor pattern training of just learning your body, and then we'll create feedback to force the pattern. So we got this. So we're gonna go back. This is gonna help that right elbow going down, right? So you're going back. This noodle will be a little lower. So you're turning and getting depth. And then you're down into my left heel, and then around, right? And maybe we'll probably just do it halfway through. So we're gonna go back, down, and then through. Back, down, through with this elbow like this.
Not really thinking right now.
Well, it's because the ball's kind of forcing the pattern.
Okay.
But you would feel like you would be going like this a little bit.
When do I feel that?
It's right before your transition ends, or your backswing ends. Right, so like you'd be going back, and then it'd be like a little bit there, right? So it's going back. See that? right? And you're gonna go back, and then as you transfer down, try to get this ball to like hit your wrist or hit your lead forearm there. And then you would just kind of work it back around. So you're gonna go back, trampoline, then around, back. See how it goes on my wrist? You're gonna go up. There's a way to work with riding up. We're gonna go this way though.
Got it.
You're gonna go here. So at the top you're like this, right? And then as it trampolines, it just goes that way just a little bit. See that?
Yeah.
Into your heels. There's the top. See how your hands are above your heels?
Yep.
Pressure's in your heels. Right arm is across your shoulders, right? And then it kind of trampolines, right? Now the face is square, and then nothing.
Yep.
And then your hips are forward here. So raise that, and then it'll fold. You're trying to make it to where when the player comes in, he understands what the pictures look like.
Yes.
So at least he can look at it, and I go, you text me and you go, man, I'm hitting it bad. And I go, oh, dude, I'm sorry. Like, what's going on? You go, bah. You know, my hands are above my toes. I'm pulling the handle. My hands are going back towards my heels rather than beelining to the ball, right? Like the face is turning over, like the toe's flipping. It's not toe up. And I go, man, what are you going to do about that? And you go, well, I'm going to do some wall drills, like come under the cone, like maybe put an alignment stick in my grip to like so I can't flip it and kind of get more toe up. She just split it. I go, good. Like, how are your kids? Right? Like that's the goal that you can kind of just, and then you have someone monetizing, and then, but that takes time. It takes time for you to be able to like learn to own the pattern and to see what it is that it needs to look like.
Yes.
But then eventually it's kind of like you invest into yourself for call it a year or 2 years or whatever, and then from 42 till 85, it's like you know your stuff, and you manage your stuff. Hey, so you're pulling all these tips from Instagram and YouTube, and I love that you're following us. But the truth is, everybody's swing is different, and you might be trying to work on second things first. So what I need you to do is to go to thegolfroomeverywhere.com and buy the master plan so that you can start working on first things first and know that you're getting better each and every day you go to the range.